Hello, hello. I just wanted to come on and talk about something that I think is grossly misunderstood. We hear the word healing, and everyone knows what healing is, right? It's getting better from some sort of pain or injury. And it's easy to think about childhood. You fall off your bike, you have a big scrape, it bleeds, you have to go get it cleaned up, then you have to put a band aid on it, and then you have to kind of monitor it till you can take the band aid off, and then there's a scab that forms. And then you're supposed to leave that scab alone. I don't know how many of you are like me, but I used to love to pick my scabs off, and then I'd bleed a little bit more. I feel like people do the same thing with emotional and spiritual healing. And we look for tools that can help us, right? And one of the things that I've learned is that there's no magic fix, but there are things that you can work with that if you give it the time to heal properly and you don't pull back all the layers and keep undoing what's already being done, like peeling off that scab, then you can get to a place where you've grown and you're more confident and less ego driven and more ready to help other people. Everyone has some calling that says, I want to help people, I want to help people. But if you can't help yourself first, you can't heal first, then you're not going to be able to help other people the way that you want to. The last couple of years, I've worked on a tool where I have learned a lot about nervous system, a lot about frequency, and I've created a patent pending process that actually brings up new harmonics and different sounds within instruments that we don't hear, we're not trained to hear, and producers typically just cut them out, right? This whole process has been a learning experience for me, one after another, and it's required me to do a lot of work. It's required me to continue to keep losing things to regain new things, keep breaking myself down or being broken down against my quote free will sometimes, but I know it's for my highest good. And then I have to work to rebuild myself. I try to see every situation, whether that is a job loss or people that I lose to death or just because we're not on the same page anymore and we have to let go of one another, as all things that are needed for me to heal. And the tools that I've created are frequency based tools with music that most people, I think, love music, right? But this is bringing in healing frequencies into the music that I make that have not been audible before. Maybe they were at one point, but not from digital audio. And the digital production typically says, we're going to box these things in, we're going to cut these things out. And I actually elevate the things that producers take out. And then I have this process for which I am able to strip it down and find hidden sounds within the digital audio, within the instruments. And then I put those back into my tracks. Now, what I've seen is that this has helped people with a number of things, and it gives people comfort, it gives them reassurance when they're having a hard time, but it doesn't take away the work that needs to be done. And as long as we are still operating from ego or looking to blame other people for our own pain or trying to shortcut it, it's not going to do much of anything. So if you're looking for a magic fix, I hate to tell you that sometimes you have to have that wound reopened for you to then be able to heal it. And so if you've gone through a lot of things from your childhood or from relationships or just all the years of being beat down by the system, you are going to have to do work. And that means you're going to have to look at yourself. You're going to have to grieve over and over and over again. You're going to be faced with things that you might never want to. And a lot of people get through life burying these things, masking these things, and they somehow survive. But I know that I had really deep anxiety and I just kept functioning with that anxiety. And now I'm able to use the music that I create, the frequencies that I create when I'm in that anxious mode as a motivator, as a way to kind of escape what's going on for a moment, but go inward. I'm not escaping and running away. I'm not using this as like a drug to get out of my life. I'm using it as a way to really look inside and see where I can keep doing a better job. I can keep, I don't know, facing myself and also forgiving myself and gaining more self-respect, right? I have been trying to help a lot of people and keep a lot of people around. I'm the type of person who wants everyone to be on the ride together because I know that we grow through collaboration and connection. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to be able to ever fully heal if I'm keeping people around that give me comfort. Um, I have to make sure that I can look at myself, I can be alone, I can be okay without anyone else in my life in order to then invite the right people in to the next phase of my life. And trust me, I've gone through many phases of loss, whether that was to death or just decisions that were made for me with career, companies that want return to office, or people that I eventually get to a place where I'm just saying, I can't keep holding them up and I can't keep taking care of them if I haven't already taken care of myself. So I've been doing a lot of reflecting on that. And I use the music that I've created as a tool that helps me to stay sane, to help me get through the most painful points in this healing journey. But I just want everyone to know when we talk about healing, there is no magic fix. The word sounds beautiful because we think about being healed, but there are so many layers depending on how old you are before you start looking at yourself and doing inner child work. So many layers to unravel. And if we tried to unravel them all at once, we would give up. I mean, it's just too much for the human body and soul to handle everything at once. But if you can take things one step at a time and understand that the healing takes time and that it takes your own energy and that you can take it at your own speed. There's no rush dial. There's no like, must do this right now. But it is important that you understand it takes time. I am helping create tools that I didn't have when I tragically lost my partner who drowned saving his son's life, when my brother died of an overdose, when my dad died of a heart attack, when I lost my career, when I've lost series of friends over and over again and people that I've trusted. I'm trying to create the tools that make it a little easier. It's like trying to heal your cut without cleaning it or a band-aid. I'm just trying to give you some tools that help that healing go more smoothly. So if you'd like to know more about what I'm doing and the patent pending work that is involved in this filtering process I would love for you to reach out. And I am launching my coaching business very soon. And it's going to use therapeutic tools that are not just talk therapy. I don't claim to be a therapist. And I've gone through a lot of therapy, both relationship therapy and individual. And I felt like I already knew the stuff that they were talking about. I didn't get anywhere, or I'd have an appointment, I'd show up and I was like in a good mood. And by the end, now they've dug up something that I wasn't even ready to deal with. And so if you're like that and you need something that's on hand, my music actually serves a purpose if you understand how to use it. And I am planning a few events and some other things that by 2026, I hope will be readily available for mass consumption. I've user tested with quite a few people. I've also gone through a lot of my own pain through this journey, but I just want to be here for those who are willing to look at themselves and understand that I'm the kind of person that I give everyone a chance. And if there's a circumstance or a situation that feels off with somebody, I still am open to it, but I'm not going to alert somebody to something that has hurt me or bothered me and then have them keep doing it again and again and again without any change. In the same way that I don't abandon people because of one incident and you're on your own, right? But we all have to find that peace within ourselves. So if you are interested in learning more about what I mean by healing and how the nervous system plays a part in this and how the frequencies and music that I've developed have anything to do with helping you get through, without being just a simple Band-Aid fix, but really being something that becomes your companion, becomes your go-to, that the more you listen to it, the more you tap in, the more you're actually raising your own frequency and vibration. And I'm not trying to sound out there or woo because I'm not that kind of person, but I am into the faith and science-based things that really make change. And I want to be here to help support others through the same things that I've had to go through and learn to find and create the tools that I couldn't find for myself. So, love you all. Hope that everyone understands that you're not alone on this journey, even when you feel like you are. Sometimes we need a pause. Sometimes we need a break. Sometimes we need to go within. But then when you're ready to get back out there and do the next thing, if you want to build a business, if you want to just accomplish something that you've always wanted to do, then there is hope for that. And I don't want you to feel like you're alone or giving up. So please, please, please feel free to reach out to me, send me a DM or add a comment below, and I will get back to you. I've had some wonderful people that I've connected with over the last couple of weeks that have changed my life in ways that I've had other people do the same thing at different phases. And sometimes it's being open to change too, okay? Because just because you find your people doesn't mean that those people go to every phase of life, depending on how deep you're willing to go into healing. But you're not alone, and we all have room to grow. Hope everyone has a wonderful day.